All right, guys. So Jagmeet Singh actually had something interesting and relevant to say today at a press conference where he kind of called out Mark Carney. So let's have a look at this, and then we'll talk about it after, like usual.
Mr. Singh, I'll just follow up here. You had a lot to say about Mark Carney and a lot about what he's done to cash in on this crisis, you've said. What evidence do you have that Mark Carney has done anything unethical to take advantage of this crisis?
Well, the fact that he headed up Brookfield, and Brookfield is a large corporate landlord in Canada that engaged in rent eviction at a time when Canadians...
And so for people who have never heard the term rent eviction, it's basically when a corporation-owned apartment building will basically say, hey, we want to evict people because we want to raise rent. And usually you can only raise rent a little bit depending on where you live. It's different everywhere, but the way that the corporations get around that is they will say, well, what we're going to do is we're going to renovate the place. So therefore you have to leave because we're doing major construction. It's going to take too long. You got to find a new place to live. And then the people leave only to find out that the renovations they did took like a week. Or they barely did anything. Maybe they changed a few cabinets or did some work in the bathroom. But they were using it as a loophole to evict people so that they can, instead of charging $1,200 for the apartment and raising the rent up to $1,300, they could just evict them and then have a new tenant come in and charge them $1,500. Something like that. But it was a really corporate loophole so that corporations like Brookfield, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Streets, whatever, and there's companies like that here in Canada too. I just can't remember the names off the top of my head other than Brookfield, but that's what they do. And it is corporate greed. It is nonsense. They should not be able to do that. Mark Carney doesn't care, though.
Could not find affordable homes. He saw a way to make more profit for his company. And now I don't fault him for making profit for his company. I fault him for proposing that somehow the person that fed the housing crisis, that rent evicted people, that jacked up the price of homes that were affordable, that bought up affordable homes, then turned them into unaffordable places, that somehow that guy could be trusted to fix the housing crisis. He cannot be trusted. What he's going to do is what he's done his entire career, which is make more money for the super rich. And it's going to hurt you and your family. That's what people need to know. And I'm going to point that out every time I get.
So, very interesting, right? And again, I'm no fan of Jagmeet Singh. I think I've made that pretty clear on this channel. I think most of you would agree with me on that. But even a broken clock is right twice a day. Sometimes Jagmeet Singh will come out and say things like this. It's like, oh yeah, this guy is, in terms of like a corporate greed, he's at the top. I mean, that's one of the most unethical things you can do to someone in the middle class is kick them out for a stupid reason. They didn't do anything wrong, just so you can make more money. And the governments have allowed people to get away with it. Now, Jagmeet Singh's plan is to probably just tax them. We're just going to allow them to do it and then take more money and then feed it back into the communities, which they also would not do. What you do, or what you could do, though, is possibly change the tax codes. This is a Robert Kennedy Jr. idea, where you change the tax code so that companies like Brookfield wouldn't even bother doing it because they know that they would get hit so hard with taxes they wouldn't make any money, so they won't do it. That's how you stop them. You just make it so that, hey, you can do this if you want, but you're not going to make any money. That's a really good way, in my opinion, to stop people from doing that. These corporations trying to rent evict people, and it's really unethical for them to do that, and our government has done a bad job. So Jagmeet Singh's right to call out Mark Carney for that. Again, not a big fan of Jagmeet Singh, but he's also kind of in desperation mode right now. If he wants to win the next NDP leadership race, whenever that is, he's going to have to get some support back. And if he doesn't, the MPs and the NDP are going to turn on him really, really quickly. He knows it. I don't think he's as desperate as he used to be, because now he's got his pension, but I still think he's a little bit desperate to hold on to his career. Why not? Pretty easy job, right? Sit around, talk to people, go to question period once in a while, have a bunch of other people do the hard work, like, door knocking and, making signs and delivering signs. He doesn't have to do any of that crap. He just stands there and talks and gets a nice salary to do so. So yeah, why not? Why not run as the leader again? But in order for him to do that, he's got to have the support, and he's been hemorrhaging support for the last couple months, at least. Now again, I don't necessarily think that every poll that comes out is legitimate. I think that there's still probably going to be somewhere between 12 and 15% that vote for him, but it's not enough for him to really gain. And, he doesn't want to come in fourth place. If he does, that's probably it for him. So, credit where credit's due. I think he actually said something pretty good. It was only a minute long, to be fair. But you got to give him a little bit of credit there, because he actually said something that's correct. And something that Canadians, especially liberal voters, need to pay attention to. But let me know what you guys think. Do you actually agree with what Jagmeet Singh said for once? Please don't be shy. I really enjoy engaging with you guys. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.